Hello everyone, Wayland3520 here. Welcome to my tutorial for the module Lousy Chess. The idea of this module is that you will be playing minute chess, a variant of chess, on a 5x6 chessboard. And it's two engines playing against each other, and you are going to predict what moves they make. You will be playing both sides on this module. Most of the information on the front page is not really relevant. It's something that you'll get just as you move the module. You can switch the pieces from full to flat. I prefer flat. It makes things way easier to see. Mostly the relevant information on the first page is these special move rules. That's what you might end up caring about. But I will explain any special rules that I come across when working through this tutorial. You can look at these rules on your own time. Just open up the manual and see. So how do you start on this module? First of all, you want to note the serial number. This will come in handy very soon. And yikes, that's a interesting way to place the serial number. Anyway, since the lights are out, after the serial number, you would note all of this information on this right block. You see mic 8, delta 0, and 10. All of that will come in handy shortly after. Taking a serial number is going to be C06 TU1. And so what this information means is it's listed in white, black, and then move number. So white engine is using M8, which means that the engine type, the module just calls it engine, but yeah, basically what it's making moves based on is these, and these are the goals. I will explain them shortly after. So you see the white is going off M, which is mirror mirror, and and black is going off D, which is dark squares are lava. From there, you have the numbers 8 and 0. Normally what I do is put them on separate lines. You will see why very quickly. These are used to generate random numbers, which are going to be the numbers off of which you make your moves. So you see how to make the number generator. You define the base number by taking the serial number, that's why we took it, and replacing letters with numbers. So you replace Charlie with 3, Tango with 20, and Uniform with 21. And then in order to get a new random number, start with the previous one, or the engine seed for the first number, and then you add the next digit of the base number, taking the rightmost digit of the sum each time. So 8 plus 3 is 11, you only take 1. And then from there you see 1, 7, 9, 9, 1, 2, 3, yada yada yada. Each move corresponds to a random number, so you only need about 5 random numbers beyond your current move number. You see that we've generated 8 random numbers here, since the base number is not used for a move. So if we copy this again, we'll be able to make 16 moves, which should be about enough for 10 moves up to about 15 or 16. So that's what I'm going to do here. And then use the 6, 6, 2, 4, 4, 6, 7, 8. And then you're going to do the same for black, but starting from the base again. So 0 plus 3 is 3, 3 plus 0 is 3, 6, 9, 1, 1, 3, 4, 5, 8, 8, 4, 6, 6, 8, 9, 0. And then you see that we're on move 10. So this is going to be move 1. So we want to move 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let me recount just to be sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so this is move 10. And then you can check who's moving. You see that black pieces are all highlightable, while white pieces are not. So black is moving right now. So we're going to be taking this number. Going back to here, we're going to look at black's goals. Now every engine has first goal of capture the enemy king. So if you can capture the enemy king, that's always the way to do it. It will always the move you make. If you have multiple ways, then you may need to make some calculations, but that's pretty rare, honestly. And generally if you're not starting on like move 40 or something, you're not going to check that you're not going to capture the king on the first move. In fact, if you're on move 40, then your game is likely to end in a draw anyways. So, what you're going to look for after seeing that there's no way to capture the enemy king using black's pieces, you're going to look at the first goal in this chart. The first goal for black is to move a piece from a dark square to a light square. Now you see that black doesn't have any such moves because this pawn cannot go onto a light square. There are no special moves that do that, yada yada yada. So now you check how you can move a black piece from a light square to another light square. What I like to do here is to check each piece alphabetically, because that's how the module will end up having you count them anyways. So you might as well order them as such while you're working at it. So, going alphabetically, we see that alpha 4, the pawn, cannot move to a light square, and this alpha 6 king cannot either. Then you see that the bishop on Bravo 5 can move to Charlie 6, which is a light square, which here, for the sake of clarity, I'm going to note down very directly. There's no other move that takes that bishop to another light square, so moving on. We see that the queen has a lot of movement possibility. Remembering to take the moves in alphabetical order, we have Charlie 2 to Bravo 1, Charlie 2 to Bravo 3, Charlie 2 to Delta 1, and Charlie 2 to Delta 3. Just rechecking, there's no other move that takes a black piece from that takes the black queen to another light square, so we can keep moving. The pawn on Charlie 4 is not gonna move. The knight on Echo 4 is not gonna move, but this rook on Echo 6 can move. So I'm going to note down Echo 6 to Charlie 6 because that is a valid move and takes a light square piece to another light square. Gonna reset this. And so this is our full move list for this move for black. And what we're going to see is that our random number is 8. And we also need to note the previous random number, which is also an 8. It's even. The point is, the module has you sort the moves in a certain way. If the previous random number was even, descending if it was odd. Now in our case, 8 is even, so we sort ascending, which is what I've already done here. You don't have to reorder the moves, but you just need to remember to count from the back. And then you see that count moves on the list, as the instruction says, starting at 0. So you want to start with this move at 0 and then count to 8. Wrapping around to the first if you reach the end. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is going to be our move, Charlie 2, 2, Bravo 3. That is our first move. So next we see that we are going to white because black and white move alternately. So and we're also on move 11. So I'm going to move the marker up. So now we're looking at this. White's goal is first to capture the enemy king. White doesn't have such an option to do that, so it's going to try to do mirror mirror. First goal of mirror mirror is to mirror the last move of the opponent using point reflection on the center of the board. So it's going to try to reflect around this point on the midpoint between Charlie 3 and Charlie 4. So on this point, around where my mouse is. We remember that our last move was Charlie 2 to Bravo 3, which took us from here to here. And we see that we can't really do that. We can't really mirror that move because White's queen wasn't wasn't in the same place around point reflection as Black's piece was. So we see that we cannot fulfill that goal either. So we move the same piece as the opponent. So that means that we just take every piece that our queen, White's queen, can move, and we use that as our list. So, but we also can remember that this is going to be 6, ascending to 2. So that means that we only need to list a total of 3 moves, starting at 0. As long as we are sure that every move is exactly alphabetical. So, our queen starts from delta 4, and its first move alphabetically. You can kind of check that it cannot move to any squares in the alpha or bravo. It definitely cannot move to the alpha column. There's just way too many pieces in the way. But the first move alphabetically is d4 to b6, bravo 6. It can move there, and it cannot move to any of bravo 1 through 5. The next move is going to be delta 4 to Charlie 4. It cannot move to Charlie 1, 2, or 3, but 4 it can. And then it can go to delta 4, go from delta 4 to Charlie 5. And we see that sorting ascending because 6 is even, and taking the third move because 0, 1, 2, our move is delta 4 to Charlie 5. This is a bit of a shortcut, but as long as you use it appropriately, it can save a good lot of time. So, you take this piece, and move here. There's no strike. If your move is not the same as the engine move, you will get a strike. So it is a module about precision. You cannot be even slightly off. So, going back to black, our move was 4, previous number was 8, which is even. And here we see that the dynamic has changed a little bit because our queen is no longer on Charlie 2, which means that all of these moves are no longer valid. However, we see that our bishop is still on bravo 6, where it can only move to Charlie 6, and our rook can only move from echo 6 to Charlie 6. Still the only valid move for those two pieces, and none of our other pieces have been enabled to go to a light square piece either. So now we just need to worry about the queen. The queen is now on bravo 3, placing it in front of the bishop in moves. So from bravo 3, first of all, it can go to alpha 2, which is again a light square. And then it cannot go to any light square on the bravo column. So going to the Charlie column, it can go to Charlie 2, which is a light square. It cannot go to Charlie 4 or 6, but it can go to Delta 1. And that's where the moves end, because it cannot go to any other light square. And also there's always to check that no dark pieces can move, and white cannot capture the enemy king, yada yada. Both of those are true. So this is our move list for black's move 11 on this module. From here, we have already sorted our list alphabetical order in ascending. So we just need to look for move 4 starting from 0 again. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Our move is going to be echo 6 to Charlie 6. And then we go to white. So a lot of why I like to keep moves across from move to move, keep move lists, I guess, is because a lot of the moves will be the same. So it will save you some time, although you still have to be very careful as to when you're moving what, and resetting your move list whenever appropriate. So again, white cannot capture the enemy king. There's no way to access it. However, this time it can mirror the last move of its opponent, and this will always be exactly 1 or 0 moves. Like this specific goal. So here there's only one possible move, so I am just going to go, that's point rotation. That's what point rotation is. And yeah, you see that white move from here to here, black move from here to here, white moves from here to here, and that is point rotation in this module. So now we're back to black move. Need to move the marker up. Here we see that we're on move 6 out of the list, and our previous number is 4. So here we see that none of white still cannot capture black still cannot capture white's king. Sorry about that. It still cannot move a dark square piece to a light square. So again, we're back to seeing what light squares other light square pieces can go. We see that our bishop has been completely locked out, so bravo 5 to Charlie 6 is gone. And our rook can only go from Charlie 6 back to echo 6. Kind of a pathetic state, not gonna lie. But there, checking every other piece, so we see that the other piece that can move is the queen. The queen can still go to alpha 2, still cannot go to alpha 4 or 6, cannot go to bravo 1 or 5. It can go to Charlie 2, still cannot go to Charlie 4 with 6, and it can go to Delta 1, cannot go to any of the other light squares. So this is going to be our full move list for this move. So starting from 0 again, and sorting ascending because our last number was again even. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Our move is Bravo 3 to Delta 1. And here, again, White's queen was not on the point rotation opposite of Black's queen. It needed to be on Delta 4 for that to happen. So again, we are going to look to move the same piece as the opponent. We can't capture the king, obviously. So again, we're going to move the marker up, and then we are going to sort ascending because the previous random number was 4. And we are only going to look for 5 moves in total. Again, this is a pretty big time save. You don't want to be listing out every single move that you can be making. So the queen on Charlie 5 cannot go to Alpha 1 or 2. It can go to Alpha 3, so that is our first move. Cannot go to Alpha 4, 5, or 6. And it cannot go to Bravo 1, 2, or 3. But it can go to Bravo 4. It can go to Bravo 5. And it can go to Bravo 6. So that's 4 moves already. It cannot go to Charlie 1, 2, or 3, but it can go to Charlie 4. And it can go to Charlie 6. So we need 5 moves in total. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it seems like this will be our move. I am just going to recheck the moves. Alpha 3, Charlie 5 to Bravo 4, 5, 6, 4. Yeah, so this is going to be our move. And finally, we see that Black can capture the White king, so that is going to be what you want. And that's a solve. The game always ends in either draw after 40 moves, regardless of what pieces have been moved. It's slightly different to chess. Or in one of the engines capturing the enemy king. That's Lousy Chess for you. To explain a few other things that can often be confusing. So Mirror Mirror you've already seen. I hope that I have explained it properly. Let's switch sides is where every piece just wants to be closer to the opposite piece on this position. So if White has let's switch sides S, then each of these pawns wants to look to the opposing pawn. So A2 wants to go to A5, Bravo 2 wants to go to Bravo 5, etc. But for every other piece, they just want to go to the setup position of the opposite piece. So this king wants to go to A6, the queen wants to go to Bravo, B6, bishop to C6, yada yada yada, and same goes for Black. So Alpha 5 pawn wants to go to Alpha 2, Bravo 5 pawn wants to go to Bravo 2, yada yada yada. Rook wants to go to A1, Knight wants to go to B1, etc. And how you measure being closer, as you can see, move a piece closer, and this also applies to this vocabulary, is what I like to call taxicab distance, or basically just the number of straight line moves, straight line 1 unit moves that it takes to get to it. For example, this Alpha 2 pawn to this Delta 5 pawn is going to be a distance of 1, 2, 3 across 3, and then up 3, 1, 2, 3. So that is going to be a distance of 6. There's no need to worry about Pythagorean theorem, all that jazz. Thankfully, I would say. But yeah, that's how pieces being closer is going to be. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments down below. I hope that this tutorial has helped, and I wish you the best in dealing with this module and in all of your KTaNE adventures. Thank you.